Matt, I'm going to put back on the screen. I won't go through the detail again, but there's a gargantuan job required in Australia over the next 8 years. This stuff has got to happen every single day to get anywhere near these lower emissions targets by 2030. Of course, we know they want to go beyond, harder and faster to 2050. There's an engineering reality, put the zealotry to one side, there's an engineering reality in all of this. Why is no one talking about the nuts and bolts here?
Well, I think people are making too much money, Peter, from the higher power prices we have. The problem is we're taking advice on the power system from the very people that are conflicted and want to see higher electricity prices. Those are investing in solar and wind. And so if you're putting up on your screen, I can't see it, the graphics of 22,000 solar panels a day and 40 wind turbines a month that we need. The one big missing piece from that jigsaw is, well, what do we do? What do we need when the sun's not shining and the wind's not blowing? Because that happens quite often. Indeed, it can happen over periods of full weeks where we'll need an alternative. Where are the costs for that? And once you add those sort of costs in, those firming costs, the cost of meeting net zero becomes astronomical. Indeed, no country is really that close to net zero emissions, but those that have gone furthest down this path, like those in Europe, are paying eye-watering levels for power prices. Now, families just can't afford it, and the renewables are just not ready for prime time to power an industrial economy. So the sooner we drop this madness, the better it will be for Australian families.
Yeah, but let's be honest, your mob, I'll excuse you from that, but your mob signed up to the madness of net zero 2050 just as much as Labor did. And the difficulty I have with that as a policy is that show me where else in government policy we decide to scrap what we have, to put our hand out for something else, but there's something else is that we don't know what it is and it certainly hasn't been built yet. It's like saying we've got a better idea to keep you healthy than hospitals and doctors, so let's get rid of hospital and doctors now and hope that in the next 30 years something might just magically materialise that makes it all, lives lived longer and we're all healthy to boot. We all know that's rubbish. Where else in government policy have we gone down this path?
Well, I suppose the other areas are probably the COVID. We did that a little bit during COVID. It didn't work out that well quite often. But you're absolutely spot on that, as I said at the time, Scott Morrison believed in miracles, but I don't think we should run our energy system based on a wing and a prayer. And that's effectively what we're doing here because, as I say, we don't even know how much pumped hydro or batteries we need. No one has done these calculations. Some of these technologies do not exist. And so why would we adopt a policy before we even know how we're going to do things? This is a fingers crossed energy policy that we're adopting here in Australia and right across the Western world, and the people are going to be paying for that are struggling families when it doesn't come to fruition. So we made a mistake in my view last year. The coalition under immense global and peer pressure to adopt this net zero stuff, but I think now a year on from the Glasgow conference, the evidence is in. The net zero emissions agenda has failed. Countries are turning their back on it at 1 million miles an hour. And to protect our industrial economy, to protect our jobs and to protect the livelihoods of Australian families, we should walk away too.
Just quickly, give me your take on this stoush now between Matt Kean in New South Wales and the WA Premier Mark McGowan about gas reservation and pinching some of WA's gas for a national model.
There's two things to say about this. One, I welcome Matt Kean coming to support fossil fuels. It takes a while sometimes for people. What's the difference between a Conservative and a Progressive? Only a few years. And Matt Kean has finally seen the light and is out there calling for the provision of cheap coal and gas to the people of New South Wales. He's realised there's no other solution but fossil fuels to the New South Wales energy crisis. And the second point to make is I don't exactly know if Matt Kean still understands their energy system because Western Australia can't send New South Wales gas right now. There is no pipeline over our continent. There is no receival terminal. You need a regasification terminal to take these big LNG ships. Well, there is none on the eastern coast of Australia. So I don't exactly know how Matt Kean wants to get the gas from WA, maybe via hot air balloon. I'm not sure, but this is not a solution right now. The solution right now would be to produce more gas in New South Wales. It's there, it's under our feet, but that Narrabri Santos project is still held up in court.
Yeah, we don't have a gas problem in this country. We've just got a gas supply issue. Matt Canavan, as always, common sense. Thank you for your time.